I started Aikido when I was 11 in Sweden. And yes, I trained with some Swedish teachers. And then important influence for me was Jan Hermansson sensei, who came back from Japan in when I was 17 about. And he spent some 15 years in Japan. He trained with all sensei. So he was a big influence for me. And then when I was 19, I left for Japan and stayed in Hombe Dojo for 3 years. And then I met, of course, Yamaguchi sensei, Osawa sensei, the senior Osawa sensei, and many other teachers. And of course, Endo sensei, who then became more my personal teacher. And then when I came back to Sweden, I started to invite Endo sensei to Sweden. And I also began to train Tissier sensei in France and invited him to Sweden for many years. Today I have trained 40 years in Aikido. Also was involved in starting one of this Aikido club in Stockholm, that's been running for 22, 23 years or something. Yeah, I mean, it's a very big question, and there's so many levels of why we do Aikido. I mean, there is a spiritual level, there's for me, some attraction in the spiritual message in Aikido, but there's also a connecting level that, I mean, I am very interested in connecting to different people and how we can connect in a peaceful way. And then there's the health aspect, makes me feel healthy and physically and emotionally and more spiritually healthy. And yeah, there are many levels of why I do Aikido, or what I see as a purpose of Aikido, besides the technical point. I mean, there are as many people, there are variations of purpose of doing Aikido. And sometimes when I look at some clips on YouTube, I'm thinking, oh my God, that's very far from what I am interested in. But I cannot say it's wrong. It's these people have their interests and their opinions and whatever. You can only follow your path, and for me, Aikido is a spiritual path, and for me, it should contain some quality of healing. But I'm more interested in the healing part than in the martial part, to be honest. I I'm not training to one time in my life put somebody down on the street. That's not my main purpose. I'm more training for my spiritual development and for other people's spiritual development and for the healing aspect. So that's my vision. But I can't say that other people are wrong. It's just not my interest. He was interested in many aspects. I mean, he also did some self-defense trainings with people. So of course he must have had some kind of idea that Aikido should work. It should actually work in a martial situation. But in the vision I have of his message was that the more the years went by, the more he turned into a spiritual path. That's my interpretation of it. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to talk for the whole Aikido community. I think it's almost impossible. I, but I hope that we can explore together more. That the sharing, even if we have different background, different styles, and so on. I think the exchange between different groups is important. So I hope that can continue and that we can a little bit put what is right and what is wrong to the side, and say, let's train together. You do it that way, I do it this way. And then explore it and then see what comes out of it. So I think, of course, we chose different directions. And for me, personally, if somebody is hurting me a lot when they do a technique on me, I don't like it, and then it's difficult for me to train with this person, but I cannot say they're wrong, but it's not where I want to go. So if it hurts a lot, this is not, my direction. But otherwise, I think the exchange between different groups is important, so that to continue in Aikido. And then, I have my personal interest is what my explorations are. But that's my interest is just a piece of the whole cake. And this is maybe over the years for me becomes maybe the most important thing, that you share this healing aspect, of Aikido. And then it can look a little bit different, how we do it, but that's an important quality. But I also have some interest in, like, somehow I'm interested in how to resolve a real, some kind of conflict situation. It attracts me, that idea, how you can turn this aggression into something peaceful and connected. So in that aspect, I don't want to let go completely of the martial aspect of Aikido. It's interesting to me, not because I want to fight, but because how we can change the martial situation into something, a peaceful communication, physically and psychologically and spiritually. That's a never-ending, like the holy grail of Aikido.